budget-friendly DAC amp, priced at just over $100 if you were to buy it now at the end of the year 2024. And we have here GR40, which happens to be a tube amplifier. Two interchangeable vacuum tubes, which is 5654W, very common. You can easily find it in AliExpress and very affordable as well. So very easy to swap in. And inside you're gonna find also ES9028Q2M, which is a reputable DAC amp from ES Sabre, and you're gonna get host of connectivity starting with USB Type-C and also coaxial, optical, and even Bluetooth connection. However, the Bluetooth connection is limited to just up to SBC, AAC, and a few selection of aptX. There's no LDAC inside here. Connecting this GR40 is a very simple affair. I was able to connect it directly. Normally, it will be sitting there on my desk over there, attached to my MacBook, and no drivers needed. It just works straight out of the box. And the same can be said when you attach it to a PC. Using USB Type-C connection here, straight to my phone. And it will also work because, as you can see here, it is detected by some of the app on my device. So, super simple connectivity. Like I mentioned earlier, it carries some Bluetooth protocol, but the maximum it offers is just up to aptX, the highest resolution. While it is good to have connectivity option via Bluetooth from devices like this to this, because I can connect wirelessly, but then again, I see that as an option. Nice to have option, because you want to know why? My headphones here are still connected to this GR40 here, wired. So I am still anchored to my location, not being able to move that much, despite my source here being able to move. So I just gonna simply say, it is nice to have, but not exactly the most recommended way to use this GR40. Despite being a desktop DAC amp, this GR40 here seems to be designated to be paired with highly efficient or efficient headphones or IEM. You see here this dongle, Onyx Alpha, one of my favorite dongles. This tiny thing offers in excess of 500 milliwatt of power at 32 ohm, and this GR40 in contrast offers only half of that at 250 milliwatt of power at 32 ohm. Comparing it with some of my tube amplifier here, which is this XD050, which I reviewed recently, this thing offers in excess of 565 milliwatt of power at 300 ohm, okay, not 32 ohm but 300 ohm. So this thing is delivering in excess of probably like 1005 milliwatt of power at 32 ohm. Simply put, try not to push it beyond 300 ohm because it is designed to work up to 300 ohm like this Sennheiser HD600 here, which I have tried. Yes, no problem driving this Sennheiser HD600. The best way to use this GR40 here, it is to pair with something efficient like this Verum one here, which is just rated at 8 ohm of impedance, very low. And also this Fio JT1, very efficient. And also something like this Techstar Pro 82 here, one of my monitoring headphone. If I were to use it with something like this Fostex T40 RP Mark III, which happen to be 50 ohm and 92 dB of sensitivity, then I would say that this thing falls short. Even if I crank the volume 100%, I would not be able to get full potential at all, perhaps as close as 70% from this T40 RP Mark III, and only perhaps 80% from this Hafaiman Sundara here, and only 80% as well from the Sennheiser HD600. To me, the biggest appeal of this GR40 are actually these two knobs that you see here. These are the knobs that will allow you to tweak, to tune the upper frequency and the lower frequency, namely treble and bass. The good thing about these two things is that they are very effective. Very effective because even if I turn the bass knob here all the way max like this, I would not get any kind of distortion, even when connected to dynamic driver like this Sennheiser HD600 here, which can distort if too much bass is applied. So this thing will boost both the sub bass and the mid bass equally. I have also tried it with magnetic planar, definitely no issue at all because magnetic planar are less likely to get distortion when you boost the lower frequency. But I cannot say the same thing if you try to do that max out on the lower frequency here, when you do it on dynamic driver IEMs, especially highly sensitive IEM under 32 ohm, or especially something which is rated at 12 or even 16 ohm. Don't do that. You can boost the bass for those IEM, but probably you're just gonna go just a little bit. And the treble itself, it is also very effective. And for whatever reason it is, if you need more treble, even from like say headphone like this or even this Hi-Fi Sundara, you can tweak the treble to a point that it becomes so piercing, so sparkly and so energetic. But of course, most of the time, what you will do is probably tone down the treble to make these two headphones sound a bit more, even more organic. Assuming that you are not playing with these two knobs here, which will change the lower frequency and the upper frequency, then I would say that this GR40 offer the kind of sound which I would consider as neutral and transparent. Kind of a bit surprising because you would expect that tube amplifier tend to be a bit more colored, tend to be a bit warmer, tend to be a bit airy. Yes, I will admit that it does sound like a tube amplifier, but not so tubey like some of the tube amplifier which I have tested so far. So the good thing is that it offers natural, organic, analog sounding timbre, which I really love. And at the same time, I am still getting ample amount of analytical prowess to it. It does not abandon the technicalities. So we are talking about balance between musical and analytical. It extracts ample enough amount of details, especially coming from this magnetic planar, even this Verum one here, or even this Hi-Fi Sundara. I was enjoying the kind of details, macro and micro detail that it offers, and especially when attached to dynamic driver, easy to drive dynamic driver like this JT1. And I am getting something which is highly analytical, wide open sounding despite this being closed back. All in all, I would say that this GR40, despite the shortcoming of not so powerful, if you were to compare with some of the competition on the market, it is a very well-tuned DAC amp for as long as you keep it at under 300 ohm. If you like what you're hearing, what you're seeing, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. And also please take a moment to click like here. It will really help me out. It is free, by the way. And also please follow me on Instagram, which I have set up very recently. My Instagram will be a platform for me to provide quick updates on the things that I do beyond this video. And again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.